Hey there, my name's Cerise. Welcome to my channel. This is the special that I put out every Wednesday called Diary of a Working Girl, where a woman who is a prostitute talks about how she became one. Now, today's story is going to be from a woman who is Canadian, and she's going to be telling us her story, how she became a prostitute in the Dominican Republic. Please join me every Wednesday for Diary of a Working Girl and also on Saturdays for Dark Side of a Working Girl, where we get into stories about some of the situations girls get themselves into on the street, and also some of the men they meet and some of the things that happen. Alrighty, let's get into this. Hey there, my name is Caroline and I'm from Montreal, Canada. My real name's not Caroline, but I'm just using it to protect myself because this story can be a little bit embarrassing if it gets out to the people that I don't want to know about it. So, I've been in the Dominican Republic now for 10 years. I first came with my parents. My dad, he is the biggest racist that I've ever met, and he never would allow me to hang around black people or be around black people. But when we came here to the Dominican Republic, I was like, oh my gosh, this is why he doesn't want me to hang around black people, because these people are beautiful. Now, we come from just a little town close to Montreal, and there might be about a handful of black families there, not many at all. So it's not like I've ever hung around black people or even been too close to them, aside for being in the grocery store a couple of times. Well, what happened was when we got here to the Dominican Republic, we went on an excursion, and the excursion was off the resort. So then during this excursion, we had a tour guide. The tour guide was a handsome Dominican, and I thought he was so good looking. But he wasn't the only one, because along the tour, we saw so many different Dominican men, dark skin and light skin. And I realized at that moment that I love black men. I couldn't believe the body shapes, their faces, their lips, their butts, their chests. Everything about them was just so attractive. So I decided that I was going to come back at another time. And I decided that the Dominican Republic was going to be one of the places that I come to often. But that dream came true a lot sooner than I realized. Now remember, I was 18 years old at the time. I was in university, but I had a part-time job and I was making my own money, and I had a really good savings all my life. I saved everything, birthday money, graduation money, you name it. And my family, my extended family, they were all very generous. And my parents as well, they have good money. So I had a pretty good savings. I would say my savings could put down for a really good down payment on a home. But that didn't happen. Let me get into what happened. So here we are on the excursion, and then the tour guide came up to me and he said, listen, there's a party if you want to come to it tonight. It's on the beach just down the street from Playa Dorado, right here where you're staying. I can come pick you up and I can take you there, and I can also bring you back to the hotel. And I was like, that's amazing, because I was sharing a different hotel room than my parents. And I thought, this is a great opportunity for me to get out of the resort and get to know the people a lot more. So I told him yes. And he came and he picked me up, got on his motorcycle, and I loved the feeling of being on the back of a motorcycle with the hair just blowing in the wind. It was amazing. We just went a short ways down the road and we went to a side beach, a private beach where there was music pumping. It was electrifying. It was so perfect summer vacation. And the food was like food I've never tasted in my life. Everything, I felt like I was supposed to be here. I felt like this was where I was born a lifetime before, or this is the reason why I was born in this lifetime now, to be here in the Dominican Republic. So that night, I enjoyed life for the first time ever. And the guy asked me, it was around midnight, and he said, should I take you back to the hotel? And I asked him, what are my other options? And he said, well, you can come back to my house with me and I can introduce you to my mom, and you can sleep at my house, but you have to sleep in my bed. My house is very small and it's probably not like anything you're used to, but I think that you could probably spend one night there and you would be okay? And I said, absolutely. I went back to his house with him, and it was one of the most smallest homes I've ever seen. At first, I was afraid to enter it. It did look a little dilapidated, and it was made of wood. And the wood pieces were kind of like separated, they weren't all together. And when we walked into the house, it did look like the outside, just very old and decrepit. And I wasn't about to judge because this was a brand new experience for me and I was really looking forward to it. And his mom was very nice. She didn't speak any English. His but he translated for us. And by the way, I didn't really speak that much good English myself. Remember, I'm from France. I'm from French Canada. So the people that I was speaking to on the resort, they were from France. Like we were just speaking to a lot of French people. So this was a time for me to start learning more English as well. But this guy, he did speak good English. So he did speak for myself and his mom. His mom, she told me, sit down, go to sleep. It was the wee hours of the morning. So we went to sleep and he didn't even touch me all night. He just let me lay in his arms and we went to sleep. The next morning, he took me back to the resort. Well, when I got to the resort, my dad was livid because he was sitting out front having his coffee, like out front of the resort itself, and he was not expecting me to pull up on a moto with a Dominican. And he looked and he looked and he said, Caroline? And I looked at him and I said, yes, Daddy. And he came over to the moto and he looked at the tour guide because remember, he knew the tour guide from the day before. And he said, where did you take my daughter this morning? And the tour guide looked at me and I looked at my dad and I said, Daddy, it wasn't this morning. I went to a party last night. And my dad said, and where did you sleep? And I said, at this guy's house. He took very good care of me. It was great. It was fun. And my dad slapped me in my face. Just slapped me. And I looked at him and I ran. I looked at the guy. I looked at the tour guide. Now, my dad didn't speak any English. I looked at the tour guide and in English, I said to the tour guide, wait here for me. The tour guide said, no, I don't think I should. And I said, wait down the street for me. And the tour guide left and he went and he waited down the street for me. I went into my room and my hotel room and I packed up everything. My dad came to my hotel room and he tried to stop me. And he said, where are you going? Where are you going? But I was of age and I went down to the front lobby. And when I was at the front lobby, the guards, they tried to stop me and I said, you cannot touch me. I am of age and my father just slapped me. He hit me and he's not supposed to be putting his hands on me. By the way, it was the first time my father ever hit me in my life. And then I left the hotel and I went with the guy and never saw my parents again, ever. I've been here for 10 years. Now, this is what happened and how I became a prostitute. I ran out of money. I was with that guy, that young guy. He became my boyfriend for about a year and a half. And I paid for everything. I helped his mom, I helped his family, and I didn't really look at the future. I just thought to myself, when I did run out of money, I would go back to Canada, work a little bit, and then come back here to the Dominican Republic. Well, after about 2 years, I was about $3,000 left in the bank. Yes, I started out with quite a lot. Like I said, I could put down a hefty down payment on a home when I first started. But when I got down to $3,000, I got scared. So then I started to look for jobs. And I started to look for jobs in different bars and restaurants all over Puerto Plata, Sosua, Cabarete. But there weren't really any places that was paying a lot. And so I started to still dip into my savings. And then I got down to $300. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought to myself, I need to like really do something. So I was working at one place and I started to steal from the cash register. And I feel bad about it because these people, they really trusted me and they were German and, the wife, she was Haitian. The husband, he was German, and they really trusted me. And I feel bad about it till this day. Even when I post on social media, I like to block them from my posts because I just feel so bad. And they probably think so horribly of me. But I only moved on and did it somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else. And I continued to just take and from other people until the point where nobody wanted to hire me any longer. And I started to get a bad reputation. So then I realized that my best thing is to sit around the bars and get some men. It was very difficult to be a prostitute here because nobody wanted a white woman. They all wanted the exotic women, the exotic Dominican women and Haitian women. So I would have to wait until a man actually got bored of the Dominican women and the Haitian women or was burned too much. And, so I ended up with a lot of the broke expats because visitors that were coming here, they wouldn't even give me a second glance. They were coming here, and if they were only here for 7 days, they weren't trying to get with a white Canadian woman. They were trying to get with what they came here for. But that really left me just little pickings. And so that's how I started to become known as the expat prostitute. And they passed me around for a little while and passed me around. And I started to go from Dominican boyfriend to Dominican boyfriend. And my Dominican boyfriends would get me Johns, so to speak. And they would help me get relationships. Well, I guess, regulars, if we can call it that. And I was just living off the fat of the land until I stumbled upon real estate. Now I'm doing real estate and also prostitution. So I'm getting myself ahead and I'm making more money and I'm doing very good. I have a nice little apartment in Puerto Plata, which I pay 20,000 pesos for a month. That's roughly it's roughly $400. And I'm good. I'm good. I have a boyfriend, and that's a whole other story. I pay for everything. He pays for nothing, but he does get me customers, and he does push my real estate business out there for me. And you know, I'm at the point now where real estate is kind of tough to sell too. But if someone buys real estate from me, for sure they're getting a free lay. I just don't know what to do, to be honest with you. And I just don't want to leave the Dominican Republic. I love it here and I cannot leave. I don't want to leave and I will continue to hustle until I die. I just don't want to leave this place. If you've been here before and you're listening to this video because you love the Dominican Republic yourself and you can't wait to move here, then you know what I mean. And plus, my parents, they gave up on me. I blocked them all on I blocked them all on Facebook. I blocked them everywhere. And they just they gave up on me. They disowned me and they're never going to want to be around me again, and I know that. So it's not like I have an option to go back. Plus, aside from the financial matters here, I live a really good life here. I wouldn't want to go back to that dried up town in Montreal and live there and be around all the racist people that were my dad's friends and what I called family. Never would I want to go back there. So I'm living a good life here. And I'm going to continue to struggle and grind until I can't any longer. I'm just going to do what I have to do to stay alive. And I think that is what real life is all about. And I'm going to continue. My license is expired, so it's not like I can drive when I get back to Canada if I was to ever go back, and I won't. And not only that, my health care has expired. I have nothing in Canada. I have absolutely nothing. Only family that doesn't love me any longer and would never want to see me, would never want to tie ends with me. And to be honest with you, I don't want to tie ends with them either. This is where I live. I speak fluent Spanish. My English is amazing now, and I am such a good person. I've learned a lot of lessons throughout my whole time here. And I just want to keep on living here. This is where my life is. I think I would die in Canada. So, guys, there we go. Isn't that interesting? You see, not every person here that is a Dominican or a Haitian is struggling. But there are a lot of foreigners that come here and they don't want to leave, and they will still hustle until the day becomes dawn and the dawn becomes day. They will not give up. So I just want to say to you guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Cerise. This is my YouTube channel. Make sure you join me this Saturday for Dark Side of a Working Girl, because this story is going to be very, very. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below, and share. Take care, everyone. Huge hugs, loads of love, and big blesses.